Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are sharing with you our Vietnam luxury hotel and resort adventure. We came in under budget.
Yeah, this was a pretty great thing. We're actually in the middle of it right now, almost at the tail end of it. We're in Hanoi, but we wanted to share with you how it's going because as you may know, if you've seen the video on why we stayed 40 nights in Vinh, Vietnam, it was so that we could get lounge access. We did achieve that in Vinh. We did get lounge access through IHG by staying with them for 40 nights. And now we are using it. And so we've been
reaping the benefits.
This last month has been amazing. We want to share with you what's been going on, if it's worth it, and if this is something that you should try to attain. We're staying around for a month, and you know, one of the things is that you can easily live in Vietnam for $1,000 a month, and that's something that, you know, we've tried to do stuff like that before, but you can also up your budget. Our budget is $4,000 a month, and I don't think people quite really understand what you can get if you're in that $3,000 to $4,000 a month range, because I know we're from Atlanta, Georgia, and spending $3,000 to $4,000 a month in Atlanta, you're not getting anything. Nothing good is coming to you for $3,000 a month. But here, it would probably blow your mind. So we're going to show you that today, what you're going to get in that price range.
Yeah, it's a pretty huge difference. We started out this luxury adventure in Vietnam on a private island.
Yeah, we found this place called Vinpearl Halong Bay, and it was somewhere that you had always wanted to go, Halong Bay.
Yes, I have seen pictures of Halong Bay for forever on social media. It is an UNESCO World Heritage Site as well. You've probably seen pictures of it, maybe don't even realize it. Probably like on your computer screen, those pictures when you wake up. I do keep track of those. I don't know about you guys, but if I see something amazing, I always write down where the place is because I want to see it in person. And Halong Bay was one of those places. And this hotel, the Vinpearl in Halong Bay, was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, so first to start it off, we were in Vinh, Vietnam, and it's about a 3-hour drive to Halong Bay, and it's kind of two out of the place areas. So that's one of the great things about traveling in Southeast Asia is there's really no problem that just a little bit of money can't fix. So we were like, how are we going to get from here to here? And so we talked to the front desk at the Vinh City Center Hotel, and they're like, oh, we'll take you. We'll have our driver take you. I was like, it's 3 hours away. They're like, no problem. I was like, well, there's certainly a charge. Like, yeah, there's a small charge for that. So, yeah, we paid them. I mean, like, try going to a hotel in New York City and saying you want to have them drive you to Boston or something. That's not going to work. So, yeah, they drove us right there. And then, like you said, the hotel is on a private island. And you check in on the mainland. They take you over on a boat. And it's just amazing.
It really is. It's so incredible. Because I was thinking, like, how do you get the address to the hotel? Because the hotel itself is on an island. I had to do some research on how to even figure out where to tell the driver to take us. Found out that they have a gorgeous reception area on the mainland. And then from there, you check in and then they get you onto a shuttle. They have a shuttle that runs every 20 minutes, 24 hours a day. So you don't have to ever feel like, oh, I have to rush back or I have to get up at a certain time to go off. Every 20 minutes they're running it, and they usually have a couple of them running back and forth. And you check in, you get on the shuttle, and they take care of getting your luggage onto the shuttle because there are, you know, like some steps and stuff involved. Once you get down onto the shuttle, they get you across to the island, and then you get to the island, and from the little harbor area where they land the shuttle, you can walk to the hotel, but they don't want you to do that. They've got golf carts that they put you on. You hop on the golf cart and they take you from the little shuttle area over to the main entrance to this stunning hotel.
So there's a couple different room types we could have picked from here. There was like a regular ocean view room. And then we saw something that said executive suite. And so we were like, well, what's that all about? So we looked at some pictures, thought we got to do that. This is our kind of our splurge month. So we got the executive suite, which was this huge 2-room suite with two balconies, overlooking the bay, the UNESCO Heritage Bay, and it was just stunning. And so then there was a couple of options within that suite of what you could book. You could book just the room, or you could book a room that had all meals included. Now, we booked this on Hotels.com, and all meals included, or it said full board, I think. Maybe it said all meals. But we weren't really sure what they meant by that. Like, is this, just sandwiches? Or, because we didn't know. It was only $32 a night for both of us, so $16 each to add on all meals. So you're talking about $5 per person per meal. We were kind of thinking, this can't be a good meal.
How good could it
How
possibly
could it be? So, but we were
yeah.
well, let's just do it. It's an island. We're not really going to want to leave to get meals. So we booked the meals, and we're we'll just take whatever it is. So all in, our price for the 2-room executive suite with 2 balconies and all the meals for both of us was $141 a night. And so that paces out to about $4,200 a month, which we weren't staying there for the whole month. We just were there 3 nights. But we did regret once we got there that we didn't stay for a week because it was that nice. So we pull up and we pull into the suite, and it's kind of a mind-blowing suite.
It was so beautiful. It was so nice to have a separate space because we had been in, one room, which we're used to at this point. Is similar to having a studio apartment. But this was separated out with doors. The living room area, there's a nice huge desk area for doing anything, which we weren't really working there, so it was fine. And then a massive bedroom, and then on top of that you get double sinks in the bathroom, bear claw tub in the bathroom. It was absolutely amazing. Plus the balcony situation was incredible too.
So we go down for dinner the first night because we checked in the afternoon, and we're well, where do we go for this free meal? I thought we were just going to be picking up a sandwich or something. It was a Las Vegas style $40 per person buffet.
It was massive. I was blown away by not only the fact that they had tons of great Eastern food, so Korean and Japanese. They had not just sushi, but kimbap, and they had soups and stir fries. But then on top of that, they had barbecue too.
Yeah, barbecue.
And you could order barbecue chicken and beef and seafood. It was incredible, absolutely incredible spread. And then they had a dessert on top of that, ice cream station, gorgeous fruits all cut up ready for you to gobble up. I mean, I was blown away. I was how much did we pay for this again? Are they going to charge us more?
I thought that, yeah.
This doesn't seem right. We may have gone to the wrong place.
Yeah, they came and they said, well, you can order barbecue too. I thought, well, sure. And I thought, that's got to be an extra charge. But no, it wasn't. It was all included. So then my hopes were kind of up for breakfast, and it did not disappoint either. Breakfast, same deal. It was this lavish breakfast spread, and lunch was the same thing, right?
Yeah, at breakfast they had an egg bar, so you could order eggs any way you wanted. Boiled, fried, omelet, scrambled, whatever you wanted, they were doing that for you. Again, they had soup station, they had sushi, they had fresh deli meats and cheeses. I mean, so much stuff for every meal. I was literally just flabbergasted, honestly.
Yeah, so it really blew us away, and we just loved it. And it was an amazing place to go. And like I said, at lunch, the next day I thought, we should have stayed here for 7 days because we just didn't know. We didn't know it was going to be good. We go back, we're going to stay for longer. But it was so relaxing to be there. We got to spend a ton of time just reading books and watching YouTube videos. We like to watch a lot of travel videos, kind of get some ideas. And there's a friend of ours who's been putting out some amazing cruise content because he's actually living on a cruise ship right now for over 100 days. His channel is 30 and a Wake Up, and we've really been enjoying that series because if you don't know, we love cruising. We have a cruise channel too. We're always looking for places and ships that are good to spend long term. So we've been catching up on that. You've been reading a ton of books. I've been playing some games. That was great. But we wanted to go do a tour. So you wanted to go see, actually take a ship into Halong Bay. And that was kind of your dream. So we went down to the concierge and said, all right, what are the options? What are the prices for this?
Yes, and I had already done some research outside of the island, but once we had this place booked, I thought, well, maybe it's easier, and it is, because they arrange everything for you instead of you having to arrange getting a car to the cruise port, because there's a whole separate place that you leave for these cruises to Halong Bay, because there's so many different options. You could do like a little airplane ride that's like 25 minutes, or you could do a private cruise or a group cruise or like an overnight cruise. There's a ton of options, you get it. And so the concierge said we would recommend either a group cruise or a private one. And so we said, oh, okay, we're interested in the private one, tell us more. And basically they put you on, you have a boat to yourself, just you and a guide that will take you on a couple of excursions on some of the islands, and then your lunch is included as well. They make lunch for you on the ship, and you can enjoy it on there, you know, as you're cruising around. So that's the option that we went for, and it was right around $300, right?
Yeah, for the day tour. It's like a pretty much a full day, because by the time they drive you over there, take you out for 4 to 6 hours, hike some caves, go out on another little boat. It's an all-day thing. So we got there and we thought, well, we booked a private one. It's going to be this small. I was expecting like a 12, 15-foot boat, like maybe like with a motor on the back or something. And they just kind of like a, you know, like a...
For the $300,
for a moto boat.
Our expectations were not super high, because this was, you know, pretty long tour for just 2 people. So.
Yeah. So he walked us up to the dock, and there was this boat there, and it was like a major boat. Like it could fit 60, 70, 80 people, and there was a crew of 8 people manning the boat. And he was like, all right, here we are. So we get on this ship, and we're like, wait, this is just for us? He's like, yeah, you're the only ones on this. And we were like blown away, because it was like so big, and it was just shocking. Like I couldn't put to words how shocked we were by that.
Yeah, that, and also the transportation from the mainland reception area for our hotel to and from the cruise port was included in that price as well. So they had a car waiting for us when we got off the shuttle to the mainland reception area for the hotel. They had a car with a driver and our guide waiting for us. We hopped in with them. They drove us to the cruise port. We got on the ship, and then when we were done, they had a car waiting for us. We got back in the car, and it took us back to the reception at the hotel where we got the shuttle back to our room.
Now the staff on the boat that took us through Halong Bay, they also cooked us lunch, and I think they made food for like 30 people, because they just kept bringing food to us. We're like, all right,
we'll show you right here.
We kept taking pictures of the food, because like, all right, they brought it on, I'll take a picture. Then they'd bring 2 more, take another picture. They'd bring 2 more dishes, take another picture. They just kept bringing food, and it was amazing, because like, I don't know how they do, but how they knew, but like they brought her rice and they brought me fries, which was like, okay, this is cool. That's exactly what we would have wanted. They didn't even ask us, but I guess they could tell I was wanting potatoes. But yeah, the food was so good, and the whole thing just kind of blew us away. And kind of one thing we wanted to stress is just like how far your money goes. Like we go on tours in a lot of places, and sometimes you don't feel like you're getting your money's worth on a tour. Here, your money goes a really long way. And, you know, it was interesting because afterwards we were like, well, we want to tip the crew. And we asked the guide, well, how much should we tip the crew? And he was like, well, 200,000 would be good. We're like, oh, a piece? He was like, no, for all 8 of them. We were like, that's only $8 for like an all-day excursion. And so we were like, we'll do a little more than that, because it just felt wrong. I mean, as Americans, we do tend to tip a lot, but you just wouldn't believe. It's hard to explain how far your money is going to go in some places once you leave the U.S.
Yeah, it was actually really amazing because the staff was incredibly attentive. Granted, there was only two of us,
Yeah.
but so it's probably not that hard to be attentive. But they could have just phoned it in and just sat around doing nothing. Instead, they just, if we were sitting in doing something, they'd come over and say, do you want something to drink, and bring us drinks, or do you want this, or do you want tea, or whatever. And then like with the food, they just kept bringing more food out. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel terrible. There's so much food here. There's no way we could even make it look like we ate food. But it was pretty incredible. The staff, the entire experience exceeded our expectations by a million.
So right now we're filming this we're now back in Hanoi, in the northern part of Vietnam, and we're at the Intercontinental Landmark 72, which is an IHG chain. So we used our points that we bought. Maybe we got them for spending, but we bought a bunch of points. So we used our points that we bought. It was 19,000 points per night. So on a point value basis, you can buy that many points for $95 a night. So we basically spent $95 a night to be here, but we did get lounge access included, which was the whole reason we were in Vinh, and we were kind of wondering, this was kind of the moment of truth, like would the lounge access pay off? Would it have not been worth it? So we get up there to dinner, and this is a beautiful hotel. We're on floor 68 of the hotel. It's one of the tallest buildings around. And we get up to the lounge, which is on, I think, the 71st floor. And the dinner is just shockingly good. They say snacks. This is not a snack.
It is a full meal. Again, all your courses are involved here. You can get soup, you can get salad. There's various, side dishes, rice, potatoes, noodles, and then main dishes, meatballs, lamb, duck, fish, all kinds of stuff. It's unbelievable, really. And then not to mention 2 coolers full of fresh cut fruit and desserts. Really mind-boggling. And on top of that, they also have fresh squeezed juices like guava juice and beetroot and orange. Like, these are fresh juices, not like from a container. They're actually squeezing them here on the property.
Yeah, it includes alcoholic drinks too.
Correct.
Which they have a pretty wide selection of anything you want to get, any kind of sodas, anything like that. And so we had made a plan like, well, let's go up there and see what they got, and if it's not good enough, we'll go out to go to a restaurant, later in the evening. And actually, the people at the table next to us were saying the same thing because they started eating. They said to each other, we heard them say, "We're not going to need to go anywhere else later." And we said the same thing.
We were like, same.
We're not eating again after this. And then the next night they had potatoes, meatballs, paella, chicken, so many things. It's like, again, it's a high-end meal that you would have to pay $30-$40 for to get each in a restaurant. Breakfast this morning, just incredible. We just had this spread you had a Eastern breakfast, I had the Western breakfast. They bring you basically whatever you want.
Yeah, you can have both if you want. Yeah. They just keep asking you. They're like, do you want anything else? They leave the menu on the table. They're like, if you want anything else, let us know. It's like, I can only eat so much food. But it was really nice. I have really enjoyed in the lounges in Vietnam that they give you both options, Eastern and Western. I have thoroughly enjoyed the Eastern breakfast of having, pho or banh mi or something like that for breakfast. And I know you have really enjoyed your traditional Western American breakfast, but it's really nice that they offer both because you don't get that everywhere.
Yeah, and the staff in these lounges are incredible. They've been so nice to us. English is not a problem. Everybody speaks English, and so there's no language barrier. It's just been a wonderful experience. The afternoon tea is great as well. That's basically lunch. They're going to bring you... They love bringing up and setting up this whole big tea set for you, and it's just like this big spread of drinks, sandwiches, kind of finger foods. It's more than you would need for lunch. So
yeah.
in our whole time here, we've not eaten anywhere but the hotel because it's just too much food. So basically, the lounge access has worked as intended for the $95 that we spent to be here. We've gotten our lodging and all of our meals, so that's, you know, less than a $3,000 per month pace, which is pretty good to be living at the Intercontinental and eating the kind of meals that we're eating. So we did go to one other Intercontinental in Hanoi before this, and that's the Intercontinental Westlake. And that was great because they actually upgraded our room because of the platinum status that you have from the IHG card.
That's right. We had booked a classic city view room, and when we got there, they said, we upgraded you. We went ahead and upgraded you to the lake view, which we were so excited about. It was a absolutely stunning view over the lake of the other, you know, over the other pavilions and then out into the lake. There were 5 floors. They gave us a room on the top floor. I have in my preferences, just like in general, that I like to be on the top floor or high floor and away from the elevator. So they honored those things, put us in a gorgeous room with a fabulous balcony. It was so peaceful to sit out there away from all the city noise. That hotel was closer to the old quarter, so we could, you know, get to activities and stuff fairly quickly from there. But again, the lounge there was phenomenal as well.
Yeah, the staff was great. Somehow they all greeted us by our name every time we went in. I don't know how they did that, because there was quite a few people in that lounge as opposed to the Vinh one where we were basically the only people there. So that was amazing. You know, of the two, if you're planning to come to Hanoi, I would say the Landmark 72 one is the better one. Definitely go with that one, the one that we're in right now. But they're both great. So far, it's worked out so well, and we're pretty happy that we've done this because it's given us a taste of something different and a lifestyle that you couldn't afford to do this back home on the kind of money that we're spending. I mean, we're staying probably under $4,000 for the month, and it's just, you know, sometimes it's just what you want to do.
Yeah.
And so it's not something that we ever got to do when we were younger because we were raising our children and, you know, paying for houses. And when you're just going on vacation, you can't spend that. But to think that you could live on private islands and in this kind of club lounges and only be spending under your budget, it's an amazing deal and something that we definitely recommend people to try out. So Vietnam has been a great success. Next, we're headed to Japan in a couple days. We'll see how far lounge access and our status takes us there. But so far, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, it has been actually very amazing. When we made the switch to staying in hotels versus Airbnbs, you know, there were a lot of lingering questions. We had never stayed at hotels for long terms like this, so this was definitely a good start to that hotel living.
All right, so that's it from Vietnam. We're going to be packing up our bags here and flying to Japan. So if you like this video, please give us a like, subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you from Japan.